Before you set direction, you must know your origin point. Why leaders fail when they plan forward without looking backwards first. Everyone talks about vision like it's some magical North Star. Know where you're going. Set a bold direction. Dream big. That's cute. But here's the truth. Your destination means absolutely nothing if you don't understand from where you're starting. It's like plugging your destination into Google Maps, but refusing to let it use your current location. Great. You know you want to go to Chicago, but if Maps secretly thinks you're in Tokyo, you've got a long swim ahead of you. Today we're fixing that. We're diving into why leaders repeatedly fail to define their true starting point, the carnage that causes, and, more importantly, how to get brutally honest about your real origin point so you can actually steer the organization instead of wandering around like you're looking for a lost sock. Leaders try to set direction without knowing their true origin point. Let's start with the biggest problem. Most leaders think they know where they are, but they don't. And no, this isn't a philosophical riddle. It's an operational reality. Manufacturing leaders often assume performance is pretty good. The culture is solid. Processes are fine. And the team is capable. Meanwhile, the KPIs say productivity is drifting, morale is slipping, and training is 6 years overdue. And random fires are breaking out like you're running a fireworks factory. Add a second challenge, and that makes it even worse. On top of that, there's a chronic lack of self-awareness baked into modern organizations. Leaders want to believe they're further ahead than they are. Not out of ego, but mostly out of fear, overwhelm, and good intentions. But here's the kicker. You can't scale what you haven't measured. You can't prove what you haven't diagnosed, and you can't plan forward without the clarity on where you stand today. When I was leading the recovery after the Mississippi tornado wiped out our plywood manufacturing facility, the first thing everyone wanted to talk about was the plan to rebuild. Production dates, restart milestones, capacity. Everybody wanted the destination. But before we could go anywhere, the team had to map out the origin point. What resources were still intact? What skills do we have on site? What machinery survived? What processes could be salvaged? What was the team's emotional state after witnessing that level of destruction? Our success came from understanding our origin point, not our ambition. Leaders experience confusion, misalignment, and stalled execution because they're planning from a false starting point. When you don't know where you're starting from, the symptoms show up fast. Goals consistently missed by 10 to 40%. Projects stretch into new fiscal years like they're on a road trip with no gas stations. Workloads don't match capability. Training gaps become operational landmines. Leaders blame execution when the problem was planning. Teams feel overwhelmed because the plan assumed they were superhuman. Here's the biggest one. You keep feeling like you're behind, even when you're working your tail off. Why? Because you planned based on where you wished you were, not where you actually were. When I coach manufacturing leaders, one of the first exercises I do is what I call an origin point calibration. It takes about 20 minutes every single time. Yes, every single time. The leader discovers they were operating from assumptions, not data. They thought they had a training system. They thought they had a binder from 2014. They thought they had a maintenance strategy. They had a guy named Steve who knows all the machines. They thought they had capacity, when in reality, all they had was hope. Most leaders jump straight into goal setting, new initiatives, or vision regrets. When leaders sense something's off, here's the default response. They try to fix direction by setting new direction. You know the drill. New goals, new dashboards, new KPIs, a new strategic plan, new meeting rhythms, new vision statement that gets printed on posters and hung up next to the microwave. It feels good. It feels productive. It feels like leadership. But it's building on sand. Here's a fact. According to McKinsey's study, 70% of strategic initiatives fail, largely because they're built on inaccurate assumptions about current capabilities, capacity, and readiness. And in manufacturing, that number might actually be generous. I once worked with a plant that wanted to increase throughput by 18% in 12 months. Not crazy, totally achievable. Their strategy looked great on paper. But when we mapped their origin point, their actual data showed 40% of operators lacked cross-training. Preventive maintenance was 5 months behind. The bottleneck machine was at 80% max capacity. Supervisors were spending over 60% of their time firefighting. They didn't have an 18% runway. They didn't even have a 5%. Why that solution rarely works? Because you can't build a reliable plan on an unreliable starting point. Here's why all those new goals and shiny strategies just don't work. You can't optimize a system you haven't diagnosed. You can't grow a team whose true capabilities you haven't measured. And you can't fix a problem you haven't realistically defined. It's like trying to lose weight without stepping on a scale, or trying to restore a classic car without popping the hood, or planning a cross-country motorcycle trip without checking the gas tank. You're just guessing. And guesswork is not leadership. It's wishful thinking. Leaders get stuck because they're trying to leap from where they think they are to where they want to go. That's a dangerous jump. It creates bad assumptions, unrealistic timelines, and, my personal favorite, a culture of, why can't you guys keep up? Here's the truth no one wants to admit. A leader who ignores their origin point creates chaos for everyone else. Solution: conduct a brutally honest origin point assessment before planning anything. If you want to fix this and actually move the needle, there's one thing you must do. Complete your origin point assessment. This isn't complicated. It's disciplined, and it saves you years of pain. Here's how to do it. Step 1, assess your real performance. Ask your team, what are we actually producing? What is our true throughput? Where are the breakdowns? Where are the delays? And where are the inconsistencies? No fluff, no emotion, just the facts. Step 2, assess your capabilities. What skills do we really have? Not titles, not job descriptions, not assumptions. Actual capability, actual training, and actual readiness. Step 3, assess your resources. Do we have time, budget, tools, people, systems, or do we just have aspirations? Step 4, assess your culture. This is the one leaders skip, and it always bites them. Ask, are people aligned? Are they engaged? Are they overwhelmed? Are they afraid to tell the truth? Because culture is the engine, and an engine with no oil burns out fast. Step 5, put it all on one page. When I work with clients, I compress this into what I call the reality map. It's your terrain. It's your weather conditions. It's the truth before the story. It gives you clarity, it gives you alignment, and it prevents you from building a future on fiction. If you want to lead your team down the right road, here's the non-negotiable truth. You've got to know your starting point before you chart your finish line. Leaders who understand their origin point build better plans, create better execution, and better execution produces better results. It's not sexy, it's not glamorous, but it works. And it will change the way you lead.